Now, there is good news for you guys. The war in Ukraine is officially beginning the process of talking about it being over. Now, I know that a lot of y'all were expecting that it would be over on day one, or actually before day one of the Trump administration, because that was what he explicitly promised.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. And it will take me no longer than one day.
So it has been a little while. It's been over. I think it's not the first day of the Trump administration today. I might be mistaken, but I think it's actually not the first day. It's actually not the 100th day. It's more days after that. And Trump has just announced this tweet, guys. You can pause it if you want to read this shit. But from what I take from reading this, it seems like they're starting negotiations of ending the war. Is this an unprecedented move, Sam?
No, it's very much precedented. This is the entire, like, Trump has this weird tone with Putin where he thinks that, like, they're on the same side, and, like, he and Putin are both, like, being prosecuted and attacked from within, and, like, he thinks he has this, like, sort of brotherly camaraderie with Putin. And obviously it's impossible to really see what Trump might be thinking in these scenarios. This could all be a bunch of bullshit. The call could have been a wild disaster, right? But I think that Trump really does think that he and Putin have this sort of like osmosis relationship where like they share some of the same troubles. And in reality, like Putin is just playing him. Just straight up. There's no deal that's going to be made. This Russian government, this Russian regime is never, ever, ever, ever going to placate to Ukraine and let, no, there's going to be no concessions made. If there is a ceasefire, it's going to be a miracle.
Right. So, I mean, I don't doubt that we're going to have peace in Ukraine one day. And I'm sure that when it happens, they're going to say, wow, it was all me 100%. But the reality is, for the past 100 days, they've been scrambling, or over past 100 days now. They've been scrambling. They've been saying, oh, we're going to make a deal. We're going to make a deal. This is what it's going to look like. He conceded very strategically, okay? Because here's something that we all know about Trump. He drives a hard bargain. He wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. He wrote the book on making deals. And so what did he do? He wanted to drive a hard bargain with Russia, right? He wanted to get the best deal for Ukraine. That's why he immediately showed good faith by saying Ukraine's never going to get Crimea back. They're never going to get all their territory back. And honestly, they're never going to be part of NATO. And we're not even sure if we're going to give them any guarantees. That is strong bargaining with zero concessions from Russia. Strong bargaining. I've been told this is fantastic stuff. So he concedes all this stuff. Somehow, Zelensky's still like, okay, I want to come to the table. And who doesn't come to the table all this time? It's not Zelensky. It's not Mr. Z, okay? The little funny guy from Ukraine? No. It's Mr. P. Putin's the one who said no this entire time. He said no so many times.
Yeah, totally right in everything you're saying. I whenever we're talking about the Russia-Ukraine war, I always wonder though, like, does Trump? Do you think he knows any of the history regarding this? Like, this is obviously, it goes deeper than 2014, but like, I wonder if he knows that Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014, and like that's kind of what started this like modern era of it. I wonder if he even knows that. Like, does he know the history of this modern iteration of the war? Because like he seems to be coming at this through just Russian talking points, where it's like actually their attempts to get into NATO are the reason that we are invading them, and they're attacking our sovereignty and our borders, and of course that's just utterly insane because Russia was the one who started it initially, and so of course Ukraine is wanting to get NATO membership. Like that's an insane thing to that. Basically, they're just creating like victimhood, and they're creating a reason to want to invade them again. So like I'm always wondering, does Trump know this? Probably the answer is no. I don't even think he could locate these two countries on a map. Maybe Russia.
Let's see.
But
does Trump know the nuanced history regarding foreign policy?
I'm not even talking about nuance. I'm talking about like basic.
Does Trump know anything about history? Chat, we're going to leave that one with you. But I do want to show y'all the iconic tweet that from Trump. Reportedly, I'm told this actually made Vladimir stop. Okay? I am not happy with the Russian strikes on Kiev. Hey, he's not happy about it. Not necessary and very bad timing. Now, some strikes are necessary, but these were not. Vladimir, stop. Wow.
Like, this guy just comes off as such a little bitch, like whining on Truth Social. Like, dude, get on the phone and end the war.
No, it's called
You
peace
said
through
you would.
strength, Sam. It's called peace through. You just don't get it. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, like
Okay?
where are these like tough MAGA bros who are like coming out and voting for him because he's gonna lay down the law and he's gonna trump the deal and he's gonna get it done? Like, where are these guys now? He's over here whining on Truth Social.
And so he wants to increase the military budget to $1 trillion a year. Now, that's more than what we're spending right now. And we want to have a strong military. Okay, Pete Heck said they talk about this. Everybody should be scared of America, right? And my question is, what the hell is the point of having this military? Like, if we have countries like Russia, right? What does Russia do? They hate all of our allies. They don't really like us. They fly their jets into our airspace. They're effing with their shit all the time. They got spies over here. Okay, we got Russia and we got China. They don't like us. They're ideologically bad. They're invading countries. If we can't give these guys weapons, we're not even using them. We're not sending U.S. troops. We're just sending them weapons, and they're blowing the shit out of the Russian army. If we can't even do that, that's not a good use of resources. We need to be more judicious. Then what the heck is it for? For invading Panama? That's what it's for? We need it to invade Greenland? What the hell is the point of the military if we don't use it for this kind of shit? That's why I don't understand. Now, of course, some of them say Ukraine's actually the bad guy, right? These are the really smart guys. Like you see them walk into the room.
Those
They're the
are
ones.
the Tim Pools who say that.
Yeah, no. Like they got the beanie, right? Not because their hairline's receding, but because it's a symbol of male masculinity, really.
All cool guys wear beanies, my bad.
And they walk into the room and they say, have you ever considered that the semi-democratic country that actually has some rights in some political parties, which has new presidents all the time, the one that's being invaded, they're actually the instigator bad guys. And the country that's had the same leader for like 25 years now, the country that arrests its political opponents, the ones that's doing invasions, not just there, but also coupping governments in Georgia, invading Chechnya and all this stuff, they're actually the good guys. Sam, do you have any sort of response to like kind of intellectual rigor being shown by these very smart individuals?
I don't have anything to say other than the only person in this scenario that he's called a dictator is Zelensky on Truth Social. He tweeted out that Zelensky is a dictator. And this was before I think it was before the whole Oval Office showdown, where, of course, him and J.D. Vance are just reprehensible, screaming and demeaning and patronizing this guy. And it just makes you want to vomit, man. Because, like, you watch that stuff, and it's like, we're the bad guys. We are siding with Russia and China and Iran. Not a good look.
So this is actually an interesting pivot for us. Trump is talking once again about this really radical idea. We know that he was the pro-peace candidate, right? And that's why a lot of us, the people in this chat, we voted for him, of course, right? Because we don't want World War III. I told this story many times. My mom told me when I asked her, who'd you vote for in the election? She said, well, Micah, I understand you're a Democrat and all, but I voted for Trump. And I said, why would you do that?
Is this real?
Well, I was told Kamala wanted World War III. And I'm like, well, clearly that was part of the platform. I mean, we were at the DNC. We remember her talking about that.
Yeah, didn't you write some of the platform? Did you put that in there?
I was on the platform committee, and I remember that the World War III plank was really one of the first ones that we wrote, actually.
Dude, come on, Micah.
It was like, we're going to drop nukes on Beijing instantly. Now, I'm saying all this to say, context. Trump has the idea of signing a nuclear deal with Iran. Why has no one ever thought about this before, right? Iran's developing nukes. We don't like Iran. What if we could just make a deal with them to stop? Sam, why have we not thought about this?
I mean, listen, this goes back to the idea that, like, I don't think Trump has any sort of conception of history. I don't think he has a single grasp on any point in history with Iran, let alone modern history, right? Like, I just don't think he knows what he's talking about. And the other thing is, like, where are his advisors telling him, like, hey, Mr. President, here's what's actually happened. Hey, Mr. President, like, the people who would normally come and, like, tell him this in the first administration are gone. It's completely replaced with sycophants. So, like, yeah, that's my take, is Trump doesn't know history.
Right. I'm trying to find previous tweets of his on the Iran nuclear deal. There's a lot of them. But I just think it's really remarkable, like, how many times we have a thing and he says it's the worst thing ever, and he destroys it. And then he just gives us a shittier form of that thing. Let me give you 3 examples. One's the Iran nuclear deal. He's going to sign the same goddamn deal, but worse. Number 2, trade deals. Okay. We hate our trade deals with Canada. We hate our trade deals with Mexico. We hate our trade deals with the rest of the world. In Trump 1, he hated NAFTA. What did he sign? A new trade deal, just like NAFTA.
Does the same thing.
He hates our trade deal with the UK. What does he do? Or we don't actually have a trade deal with the UK. We didn't have a deal, but we had a trade relationship. What does he do? He raises tariffs, signs a new deal where tariffs were less favorable to us than before. What the
But
hell
it's
is
a
the
win.
point of that?
It's part of the
Bessent.
deal.
Some of y'all might know Bessent. Many of us that are Bessent fans, we like him because of his strong connection to George Soros. He's worked for George Soros for a long time. Bessent was talking about how the Trump trade strategy is trying to create an alliance of nations around China that we have a strong trade relationship with, so that we can go after China. Now, I'm going to tell you all a little acronym. This is really top secret. No one's ever heard of this. TPP. What does that stand for? Trans-Pacific Partnership. Now, this is a little known deal that was under the works for 9 years or something, unimportant like that, from George Bush, then under Obama. And I wonder what happened to it. Oh, wait, he killed the deal on its first day. It would have eliminated something like 18,000 taxes on American goods. 18,000 taxes on our goods. With all the countries, I'm going to show you all a map of this. This is America. This is Canada. This is Mexico. These are other
Wait,
countries.
Which one is America?
This one. Yes.
Can
Okay.
you zoom in on that?
Yeah. No, I actually can't because I'm technologically challenged, not geographically. This is
Okay.
China. Now, what's this country below it? Oh, that country's green. That country was part of the deal. Oh, Japan. Oh, what? Singapore. It's almost like this is exactly a way better version of the shitty thing that they're failing to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic Trump. It's say something is really shit, tweet about it in all caps at 3 a.m. and get a way worse version of the deal, and then say it's a win. You know what this reminds me of is during the first Trump administration with the whole South Korea military spending chorus deal, spelled with a K. And I don't know if you remember this, Micah. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat remember this. But Trump comes into office. He goes, man, what the hell are we doing spending money on a South Korean defense system? What the hell are we doing? America first. We're only spending money on Americans. That's why we're paying for things like Medicare and stuff. We're only spending money on Americans. And he comes into office. He goes, fuck that shit, man. We're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of it. And his advisors say, hold on. Well, Mr. President, hold on 1 second. This is allowing us to see if North Korea possibly is going to fire a nuke at us. We could detect this in 7 seconds. Yeah, it's really unimportant. So by paying for this in South Korea, we can see in 7 seconds if North Korea is going to file a nuke at the mainland United States. If we get rid of this, it's going to take us 11 minutes, and we're going to have to put it in Alaska or something, right? Trump goes, fuck it, get rid of it. Get rid of it because we have a trade deficit with South Korea, and I'm sick of it. Damn it. Again, he has no idea what a trade deficit is. He thinks that it's some. He has no conception of it at all. Does not have a single clue. Anyway, his advisors have to take the papers off his desk just to get him to not sign it. Of course, if it's off his desk, he's not going to remember it. That's a whole different, horrible thing. But then we get to the point in the first administration where we are on the brink of him just taking troops out of South Korea. Like he wants to take them out, which is saying to North Korea, "Oh my God, the United States is preparing for war." That's the worst thing we could do. And thank God he never did it. But of course, it's just reminding me of the everyday, right on the edge of some massive global catastrophe, and then he just calls it a win, right? So he says this thing is bad. I'm going to get rid of the deal, and he gives you something that's way worse.
Bro, you just have Trump derangement syndrome. That's what's clear to me at this point.
Yeah, that's the
I think, and I've contracted it too. Sometimes I find myself caring about evidence or treating Trump like I would treat any other elected official, and then I realize that this is a contagious disease that I've apparently contracted, right? And I come to my senses, and I do the reasonable thing, which is supporting everything he does uncritically, no matter what my pre-existing views were. Right? Because that's not What's the opposite of Trump derangement syndrome? I don't know what that being a Republican.
MAGA?
Oh, right.
Yeah, MAGA.
Yeah, true.